Welcome to the Furloko Podcast.
Where crazy fluffbutts talk about stuff and things.
And maybe some things you might wish you never heard of.
With your hosts,
DJ Fur3 and my co-host,
Fox18, and a guest yet again, our lovely little camera kitty and editor, Omni Kitty.
Meow.
He's been with us a lot more lately. He's such a sweetie. Rawr.
Take a sweetie to know a sweetie.
Nope, I'm pretty bitter.
Hush you. Alright, well,
On that sour note.
following what we've done for the previous couple episodes, this one is going to be, I mean, you'd probably see it from what's surrounding us, but going to be all about Christmas.
Oh, I thought it was about the 4th of July. Boy, was I confused. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my lord. To be completely honest with you, for a split second, I believed you. For a split and a hair of a second, I believed you.
That's priceless. That's priceless.
I should have been used to your antics by now.
She
But
almost
yeah,
got
it's
me.
all about the holidays.
Anyhow, you got any plans coming up for Christmas and the like and all that?
Yeah. Essentially, to go with what we said about last episodes, as we sort of started with like traditions that we do, because at this point it is pretty much a tradition. We've been doing it for 25 years now.
Oh wow!
I think they started it 1 year before I was born, so that's just how I can remember it. But essentially, a week before Christmas, on a Saturday, we do, I'm pretty sure I told you before, but we do something called the cookie party. And I mean, it's changed over time as we've gotten older, and some of our friends have been more busy because of work, but that's just how things roll. But for the most part, we'll get like family and friends over, and it'll be like 1 p.m. on a Saturday till 1 p.m. on a Sunday. We bake a whole bunch of sugar cookies, and then we have this big table set out with sprinkles and frosting and just anything, so you'd be able to decorate and keep your own cookie. Whatever you decorate, if you are not planning on staying the night, because that's what we would do, is we'd have some people stay the night, and in the morning we'd get pizza for everyone. But essentially, if you weren't staying the night, or I guess if you did, it is a general rule across, is that whatever you decorate, you get to bring home. And we made endless amounts of cookies. And so if you, let's just say this as a hypothetical, if you happen to decorate 50 cookies, you're taking 50 cookies home. If you didn't eat it all in one sitting. But we also make other cookies as well. So we do like, peanut butter blossoms with like the little Hershey's Kiss, and then we make the other variation where it's peanut butter blossom with a peanut butter cup in the center instead of a Hershey's Kiss. Christmas wreaths, M&M cookies, chocolate chip cookies, double chocolate cherry blossoms. Those are amazing. Because it's chocolate cookie, with a cherry in the center, chocolate drizzle over top.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. And we do that every year. Like, there literally isn't one year that we've skipped. But a tradition that we do, it's 1 week before Christmas, and it's just at our house. We don't go anywhere else. It's just this tiny ass house that we live in. There was at one point, for the amount of people that stayed the night, my bedroom was full. The entire living room floor was full. The couches were full. And there were even some people in the hallway laying down. There was even some people in the, unfortunately, it was a bit more harsh, but the people who had tough skin slept on a hardwood floor in the dining room.
Goodness.
There were so many people that stayed that night, for that year. But yeah, that's something we do every year.
Actually, sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Do you have a tradition, Omni?
We used to. I don't know if we're going to do it this year. But we invite the entire family over for Christmas dinner.
So sort of like a Thanksgiving, but
well, Christmas
instead of it
Day.
being Thanksgiving, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We were talking,
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. That's free food.
We're talking turkey, potatoes and mashed potatoes, gravy, sausages wrapped in bacon, which are called pigs in blankets.
Delicious. Pigs in blankets?
That's what they're called. We also have your.
We have a similar thing, but it's it's different. Like it's the exact same name, but it's.
But then there's also tons of veg. And Yorkshire.
Our pigs in blankets actually wrapped in a biscuit.
Yeah, Yorkshire puddings
like a
as well.
fluffy, airy croissant or biscuit.
We call that toad in the hole. We call something similar to that toad in the hole.
Neither of those names sound that appealing to me personally. They just like, could we have named him something better?
I mean, it's like the other things we mentioned in the last episode that could have been named something else.
You're not wrong. No. There's a lot of names for food out there that made me go, what the fuck? Anyway.
It was made by a drunkard.
Probably. I mean, what?
Do you have any traditions?
Used to. When I was younger, pre-2007, before my first grandmother passed away, when we'd always go over to my father's mother for Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day, Mom and Dad and I would get up early, have our presents, and then we would go over to Grandma's house on my mom's side and have Christmas with that side of the family. After Grandma Kinney passed away, that's what I always called my dad's mom. I always called her Grandma Kinney. After she passed away in 2007, we didn't really do much with that side of the family anymore. And there's reasons for that I don't want to get into. Let's just say a couple of the people there on that side of the family are troublemakers. One's in jail, and I don't want to go into it much more than that. But on my mom's side of the family, we kept going over there. We'd always have our Christmas dinner there on Christmas Day with the whole family. A lot of times it'd be ham, sometimes ham and turkey, but mostly a ham. And then a couple times we broke tradition because when she had cancer and stuff, she got tired of eating the same thing all the time, and sometimes it was just easier. There was one year we just ordered pizza for Christmas, kind of like we did for Thanksgiving one year. There was another time that we made tacos for Christmas, or a big pot of vegetable soup or chili. One time we made a lasagna, enchilada casserole.
What the fuck? You gotta send me that recipe. As soon as you said enchilada, you gotta send that
enchilada
to me,
casserole?
if you can.
I'll look for it. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it for you. Absolutely delicious. And there's also another casserole that's real easy to make that is similar. You still you get your red enchilada sauce, preferably. So your typical red sauce. You set it in like a can or two aside. You get a baking dish of however much you want to make. I usually go with like a medium-sized baking dish. I think maybe like an 8x12, give or take.
Okay.
Baking dish, and throw a bunch of just plain tortilla chips on the bottom. Throw some chili, and if you have made some taco meat on it, with a bunch of cheese. Then you layer some more chips on there, depending on how deep your dish is, and you layer more chips on top with more cheese. And if you have enough room, like if it's a really deep dish, you can always add another layer of chili and cheese to the top of that if you want to. But you cover it in cheese to where it's smothered, and you pour the enchilada sauce over it just enough to wet it, and then you bake it until everything's melted and thoroughly cooked. Typically, you cook your chili and taco meat first, so you're basically just baking it enough to melt the cheese and heat it up. But
yeah,
it's very delicious, very simple to make. Highly recommend it. You can also chop up onions or chives in it. You can put cilantro in it if you want a little extra flavoring, tomato, olives, but that's just the basic principle of it, and you can customize it however you want. It's delicious. If you ever visit Omni, I'll make some. Just remind me, okay? But we would do stuff like that because, unfortunately, when you're on chemo, sometimes the same things every day or every year just kind of blah. Or you want to go for something that's easier to make, and that's really easy to make, as opposed to sitting there cooking a ham all day or a turkey all day. So, but after all my grandparents have passed away, basically now it's just whatever mom and dad want to do. And as of like the last 3 years, I kind of have a new tradition where I go down and visit friends in Texas and other family members that are a little bit more distant, but I still consider them family. So,
yeah. Here's a quick question for the both of you. Do either one of you like eggnog?
Had it once.
Very much so.
You said very much so?
It doesn't agree with me, but I love it. And one of my favorite ones is the vanilla spiced eggnogs.
Pardon me.
The reason I mentioned it is because I might have to send the TikTok to you, but I've mentioned him multiple times before. B. Dylan Hollis, his old cooking recipes and stuff. If you like eggnog, there is a recipe that he did to make your own eggnog at home, and how to make it.
And I'd love to see that, because I'm always for making stuff. To you. It's just me. I have an intolerance to eggs. I inherited it from my father and even his mom a little bit. It does run in the family. We still love our eggs. We just have to limit how much we have because they will make us sick, unfortunately. Especially if they're not cooked. So.
You know who else you'll have to share about a recipe too?
Let me guess. Who could that be? Foxamore? No, I'm just kidding.
No, Betty.
No, actually, he probably would like that too, though. No, we definitely have to send that to Distro, and because he would enjoy that. Yes.
Oh, he loves eggnog.
It's like I remember when I first actually tried eggnog, or actually I've tried eggnog twice. I've tried it once before my taste buds developed. I thought it was absolutely disgusting. I wanted nothing to do with it. But once I actually grew a pair and developed my taste buds, it's the best thing. But
I loved it even
essentially,
as a kid.
The other reason I mentioned it was because I was going to go on about. So my dad has been getting recently has done 2 small little cartons of eggnog, and he said he left it in there so we can get some. And I've yet, out of those 2 cartons, to get some. And
you probably should before they're all gone.
Well, this thing, for the first carton, I was gonna ask because he got it, so I thought he was just getting it for him. I was gonna ask if I can have some. When I was gonna ask that day, it was no longer in the fridge. He told me, well, some mysterious little fairies came and took it. Meaning he
I'll
took
tell
it
you.
to work so his coworkers can have it.
Dang. But fair.
So I need to
But-
make some.
If you make some or buy some more, do you like brandy at all?
I mean, I'm not really of a harsh liqueur. Like, the only harsh liquor or alcohol that I've had that I really like is Jaeger and what is it?
Well, if you like your strong
shit.
spices like that,
Fireball.
Ooh.
Fireball's not bad. But I prefer the Jack
Like it
Daniel's
when it
Tennessee
burns in the
Fire.
throat.
I haven't
Jack Daniel's
tried.
Tennessee Fire. It's a little smoother and sweeter. It's still a cinnamon whiskey, but it's also a bourbon, so it's got more of that smoothness to it. It's not as rough as Fireball going down, at least in my opinion. I enjoy it a lot more.
Mm.
It is more expensive though. Fireball's still good. But what I was saying, I've made eggnog, like mixed drinks, like the alcoholic eggnog, with Fireball or with Tennessee Fire. But another one I love to do is the traditional way of spiking it with brandy, or even Scotch in some traditions. But I like the brandy in it because I like to sip my Scotches straight. But a little bit of brandy in it, or even a bourbon if you prefer your bourbons, it's fine. Maybe like 1 or 2 shots for just a standard 8-ounce glass, depending on how strong you really like it. Your traditional eggnog in there, with nutmeg on top and a cinnamon stick in it. Stir it with a cinnamon stick. Absolutely delicious.
Mm. I might
You gotta
have
mix
to
it
give a
right so
try
you don't
someday.
curdle anything. But
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I had a question earlier. What was it? Brain, don't do this now.
Choo choo.
Oh. No, I got it. Well, it left earlier, but it came back when I was trying to remember it, so...
don't forget again.
Hush. You guys made me forget too much, so that's hush. But essentially, so
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. You didn't. Oh, no. I was joking. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was honestly joking. Oh, now I feel bad.
oh, hold up. Nope. It was a slight derail. Okay. So if you remember it at all, what Christmas gift did you get that completely out of every, I need to rephrase it, out of every Christmas gift that you can remember getting, what is the best singular gift you got?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That really is tough.
Well, who wants to start this one off?
Well,
You
I mean,
can.
I have mine immediately if you want to go.
Okay. Well, I remember one year, and I think this one will stand in my memory forever just because of everything around it. And I was always big into computers, even as a kid. I was always playing on the computers in school. I was always playing on my grandfather's old IBM 5150, which was actually the first computer I ever used. That might date me a bit. I'm not that old. It's just the computer he had still when I was a kid. I was born around the time those came out. But I'm still old. I don't deny that. I mean, my first gaming system was my dad's Atari 5200. So, anyway, but I always wanted my own computer though that I could play games on and everything, and I never thought we'd get one that soon because they were still pretty expensive and everything. And while we weren't like dirt poor, we were definitely lower middle class at the time. Both my parents had to work. My grandparents babysat me almost all the time while my parents were at work. My grandparents took me to and from school, watched me until mom and dad got home. So honestly, my grandparents probably spent more time raising me than my parents in a lot of ways. But that was just so we could make ends meet. So I didn't think I would get one, but I really wanted one, and I kept saying I wanted one. I kind of kept hint dropping to it, and I always wanted a go-kart as well. But that year, I had trouble sleeping because I was really anticipating Christmas morning that year, because I wanted to see what kind of gifts I got out of everything I asked for. I wanted to see because I asked for like radio controlled cars and other stuff too that I always liked. I always collected plushies, and I seem to almost always get stuffed animals in my stocking. And the little tangent here, but my stocking was as tall as me. It was one of those big, long ones that you could stuff a lot of candy in. I was an only child, so back in the day, my parents would actually get candy really, really cheap, and was able to just stuff my stocking in it. So between Halloween and Christmas, I had candy to last well over a year most of the time. I never had to go buy any more. It was actually kind of nice. So wonder I didn't have diabetes when I was like 8.
That would explain me in high school.
But they would always put like plushies or little books in there that I like to read. You know, just things like that weren't real expensive that I also enjoyed. Sometimes CDs if they were cheap, because I collected CDs. But that year, I was having trouble sleeping, and I didn't really know why. I've always had a little anxiety, and I'd always struggle to fall asleep for Christmas. But that year, I just couldn't do it. I just laid there, never could fall asleep. And I had a little black and white TV, and with the little antenna that was on it, I got like maybe 5 or 6 channels, back when everything was still analog. And I tuned it to one of the local stations that was playing It's a Wonderful Life. Watched it twice. Went to another station that was on a loop of just A Christmas Story. Put that on, watched it a couple of times. And I kept hearing weird noises in the living room, but I kept trying to tune it out. I didn't want my parents to really know I was awake, but I was having trouble sleeping. Well, I got up that morning and I saw this huge thing in the corner. And it was just a bunch of wrapping paper just thrown over something sitting on a table. And I woke mom and dad up, and sure enough, it was a computer. It ended up being an old Packard Bell Legend 486 SX with 16 megs of RAM, running Windows 95 Plus Edition.
Damn.
Yep, and I remember playing the Hover game that came on the Windows 95 disc a lot. And also started playing Solitaire and Minesweeper when I got up. And I had a floppy disk that I got from a friend of Street Rod 1 and 2, and I was playing the old Street Rod games on DOS, and I gamed on DOS for years. I had a couple games that came with it. One of them was Mega Race, and I'm not talking like the old arcade Mega Race from the Atari era. No, it was Mega Race. You literally drove these cars around and shot other cars, and you raced on these futuristic tracks and everything. It was an interesting game.
Oh.
But yeah, that one will always set in my memory, and that was probably one of my favorite Christmas gifts because that got me into computers even more. And I probably wouldn't be on here if it wasn't for that in some ways too.
So, technically for mine, I have 4 favorites. Because it's at, like, the 2 of them are in, like, one stage of my life, but the other 2 are in separate stages of my life. Because it was for different reasons. So, actually, no. It is only 3. So, before I was a furry, my favorite gift that I got was, the, full set of plushies from My Little Pony. Because before I was a furry, I was a brony. For those that don't know, a brony is someone who is a fan of, well, specifically because there's bronies and Pegasisters, but that, yeah, that proves it. Essentially, bronies are dudes who like My Little Pony show, or that fell in love with the My Little Pony show. And then Pegasisters is, well, girls. Now, that was before I was a furry. That was my favorite gift, getting all those. Now, when I became a furry, the reason I say there's 2 separate ones is because there's one that, well, so this one is my favorite because it's how I met you guys. It's my headset.
Nice.
I got it well, actually, this coming December will be 3 years, so I got this 3 years ago. So this would be my most favorite out of all of them, but my most absolute heart-wrenching favorite gift is actually a time that I almost literally cried when I opened it. Was a coffee mug and the little square, like, hug pillows, or like throw pillows that had my persona on it.
Nice. That's actually
my coffee
really
mug
cool.
has my persona on one side, and then on the other side it says, "Don't worry, be furry," a phrase I always said.
Very nice. That's actually really nice.
So technically I have more than just one, but it's because of its different stages for different reasons. But
if I had to say,
if I had to put it all together, I would say my most favorite is my headset. Because
Fair
then
enough.
I wouldn't have been able to meet you guys.
My second most favorite Christmas gift would probably be when I got my Game Boy Color with Pokemon Blue and Yellow and Red, because I collected them. I take that back. I already had Blue because I got my old Game Boy from a garage sale, and I went and picked up the Pokemon game Blue, but I got Red and Yellow that year for Christmas, and I was so excited because, Pokemon Yellow was the new thing, and I wanted the Pikachu edition of the Game Boy Color, but they sold out so fast. But my parents knew me well enough that they got me the teal one because blue was one of my favorite colors as a kid, and I was still very happy with it. And I remember sitting there playing Pokemon until my eyes hurt late at night.
Now, did you use your old Game Boy to trade with yourself on both games?
Yes, all the time, and I even cloned Pokemon using the old unplug the cable trick and turn the other one off.
I never got back to
transfer
work
at the right time. So I had a lot of cloned Pokemon. Shh, don't tell anyone.
You've just told the world.
Crap.
Unless that part goes on Patreon.
No, that's not worthy of editing
It's all
out.
good. It's all good.
You did it for free.
But no, that would probably be my second most favorite. What about you, hun?
Me?
Do it at home.
Oh, I've got 2, but one wasn't a present of mine. It was what I did for somebody else.
Ooh, that's good too, though. Yeah.
I went to, I don't know, one of our local, DVD places where you buy DVDs, and bought, of all DVDs, Lilo and Stitch. Now, inside the packaging, it came with a buy one, get one free plane ticket from Airport A to Airport B. On that list was California. And on the list, and I took my American friend home for Christmas because he took the free ticket.
Oh wow!
And we spent a month.
Nice.
We spent a month in America, from Sacramento, California, all the way down to LA. We did the road trip. Took us nearly a week to get down. Then we went back up to his house after going to places like Disneyland and Knott's Amusement Park and the Sea Life Centre and a couple of other places. And also got on to
That's really cool.
We also went on the Midway ship, the aircraft carrier. Oh, and they let me out of Alcatraz too. But we got that entire, we got that entire, all of the places tour for $160 back in 2006.
That's not bad.
That's
That's
the
not bad at all.
3 days in Disney
Even for then.
and a day in Sea Life, Universal and Knott's Amusement Park and one other place, and the San Diego Zoo. I was absolutely fucked by the end of that lot. All that walking around.
Oh, I bet, but it had to have been fun though.
Oh yeah. And
Oh,
it was
that's actually
really
really
nice
cool.
to let him get home for Christmas because he works over here at a college, or he used to. But as for my, the gift that I got for myself, which was one of my favorites, was my Sega. Well, it is the Genesis, but I know it is the Mega Drive. Because I got both the Mega Drive and the Sega CD. And I still have them to this day.
Yeah. My Genesis I have somewhere. I don't know if it still works. I know my Sega Saturn still works, and my Dreamcast, both of them still work.
Same. I've even got the Mega Drive
I don't know about the
32X.
Genesis. Unfortunately, my Sega Game Gear,
Yeah.
I don't think it works anymore.
Well, mine the speaker
I've been trying to
broke.
figure out why. Been trying to find an Atari Lynx.
I saw one of them the other day. I can't remember how expensive it was.
They're kind of rare. Same with the Jaguar, which, by the way, the Atari Jaguar was the first 64-bit system, technically. It didn't have a 64-bit processor, but it had a 64-bit wide data path consisting of a couple of 8-bit processors and a
It
couple
was
of
232
processors and a
32-bit
32.
processors.
Actually, it depends on the year. The first one was actually a 32-bit, and then it had your 16-bit and your two 8-bit DACs, I think, for
Yeah.
audio or something, but
But then they also
can't remember exactly. It was a weird setup, though.
they always use the phrase "do the
But
math."
everybody tries to claim that the N64 was the first 64-bit system. Not entirely true. It was the first one to have a 64-bit processing, but not a 64-bit data path.
A bit
Sorry,
of history
I'm a nerd.
knowledge.
I can't help it. I'm a nerd.
We both left out the Sega
We're all
32X though,
nerds. We're all
which I got
nerds
for
in our
Christmas
own
after that.
respects.
Never got to play with one of those, though.
I still have mine and it works.
I did get to play with a Panasonic 3DO. That was one of my cousins there for a while. That was kind of neat.
And like a few
That's an
years,
obscure console.
before I got the Mega Drive, when I was, I want to say 10, I got a Commodore 64. That
was
thing
kinda
taught me to
neat,
read.
too.
Because I had the manuals.
Did it run the Tandy graphics?
I don't know, it was a Commodore 64. It ran BASIC.
I know they had a little bit They had a little bit better color sampling than just standard CGA.
We had 16 colours at once on screen, I think. But the funny
I know
thing,
CGA was 16 color, but the Tandy seemed like it was a little bit better.
yeah. But this will make me kind of sound a bit weird. But what it made me read was taking the manual and going and sitting on the crapper while just reading the book while sat in there.
Oh my gosh, a guy that reads the manual?
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Sorry, I couldn't
moly.
resist.
Well, I
Holy
needed something to do for an hour while I was.
Scientists, come get him.
I
It's a man that reads manuals.
I needed something to do while taking a crap for at least an hour.
Fair enough. You took a crap for an hour? I have concerns. No, I've been there too. Stomach problems. Oh, anyway, let's not turn this into another shit show, please. Okay. Anyway.
So, another question, because it somewhat relates to
I do have.
Christmas. What?
No, go ahead and ask. I was just gonna say, there is one other gift that I got years ago that I forgot about that actually got me into my hobby of photography, and that was when my uncle got me a Polaroid one year, a Polaroid camera, and then I take that back. My parents got me a Polaroid one year, and my uncle got me a old 110 millimeter film camera back in the old days of 110. If anyone remembers that.
I had one.
You're old too.
Shut up.
Okay. All right. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, it was still on the topic of the question. We were still in that section, so it just made sense instead of coming back to it later. Those moments where you're trying to remember something and it doesn't
That was a
happen
long time
until
ago.
the next day.
That was a good. That was about 30 years ago when I got that first camera.
Damn.
Now who's dating themselves?
So,
I don't deny it. Question?
So, because, I mean, I know it's that cookies are a general thing, but depending on who you ask, cookies can be, solely related to Christmas, because Santa Claus and all that.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
So, out of all of the cookies, biscuits for you, as UK, we call them cookies, he calls them biscuits. The only time it's called cookie is when it's a chocolate chip cookie. I know that from learning.
Technically, over here,
but-
biscuits are hard, cookies are soft.
Okay. Well, from my knowledge of stuff about the UK and translation of words, it's whenever someone says cookie,
Biscuits
it's
are fluffy.
specifically chocolate chip cookie, and then biscuits are
Butter
just
biscuits.
all the rest.
Anyway,
But, so, out of all of the cookies, what is your most favorite cookie? If all other... let me put it this way.
Oh, this is hard.
If all other cookies never existed, what would be your sole
Fuck,
cookie
why you do
that would
this
be the
to
only
me?
one you'd eat?
This isn't
Why you do
fair.
this to me, bro?
This really isn't fair.
Why? Why you do this to me,
Oh,
bro?
I got mine already, so I'll go first, I guess. But mine would be the peanut butter blossoms with the peanut butter cup in the center.
Okay, fair. Man, that is a tough call.
Do you need more time?
I wish I could remember what they were. This is kind of another side note. I don't remember what they were called, but they were like little tiny round cookies that had like a little hard jelly in the center. It was almost like chewy kind of jelly, and it was real sticky, and it was red, and it was kind of like a cherry tart or like a strawberry tart, depending, I guess. But they were like a little round sugar cookie that had that in the center, and I can't remember what they were called, and it's been bugging the hell out of me because I haven't seen them since Grandma died, and I want some.
We have something similar to that over here called Jammy Dodgers.
If I find some, I will grab them. I will look in all the holiday stores. I am on a mission from God. I mean, what? Sorry, if you get that movie reference, you're probably old too, but it's a great movie, so I'm not that upset.
Alright. What's your favorite?
The band? The band.
I'm going to be basic and just talk chocolate chip cookies. You can't go wrong with one of them.
Damn.
That is true, but it's gotta be the chewy ones.
I mean,
gotta be the chewy ones.
You can't go wrong with chocolate chip cookie, but...
Chewy chocolate chip cookies.
Big, thick, gooey ones as well, with the chocolate cream in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are good too. I don't know. That's a tough call. I would either lean towards that, or maybe a lemon frosted sugar cookies, or lemon frosted oatmeal cookies. Maybe.
Now, if I want to pick an American biscuit / cookie, I'd go with the fudge covered Oreos, or the mint covered Oreos.
Yeah. Those are good.
You know, the ones that have got mint flavouring, but then have when they have the chocolate on. Yeah, what?
That said, I don't eat a lot of cookies, but yeah, it'd probably be one of those two for me.
I'm weird. I dip biscuits in tea.
That or homemade sugar cookies that are hand frosted or hand iced. I'd actually probably go towards the latter, even though it'd be a pain in the butt. But
now I want some
those are just
snickerdoodles,
so
and we
good.
can't get them over here.
I mean, that's essentially what we do for Cookie Party.
Send me
That's
some.
exactly what that is.
I miss having my cookie cutters and making cookies with Grandma. That's a tradition I looked forward to for years.
If you want some, you're gonna have to come over here and make some.
No, you can send me
Start
some.
driving.
I'll pay the shipping. You're gonna send me some.
Actually, if you make them right and you package them well, they would ship fairly well. It's just a matter of
I got a funny story
legality
about
of
this.
shipping. Because every country's different.
I got a funny story about this. If I'm allowed to say it.
Go for it.
Basically, you know my last name on Second Life is Snickerdoodle. And I got handed a Snickerdoodle cookie at Amthrocon 2007. My first ever one.
Yum.
I ate
They're
it,
yummy.
and my friend literally looked at me and said, "What's it like to eat yourself?" I just didn't know what to say after that.
Oh, that's just not right.
It was a cat head shaped cookie and all.
Oh gosh.
Oh Lord.
Nice.
Perfect.
Snickerdoodles
Oh my
are
god,
good,
did you say perfect?
I also like ginger snaps and Nilla wafers.
My mother loves ginger. Mother loves ginger biscuits.
Those are good. Anyway.
Anything else related?
Well,
We talked about gifts, cookies, presents.
on the note about food, what is your go-to meal for Christmas? Like, what is the traditional feast that you all have if you have one?
That's a piece of piss. The full-on Christmas dinner. There was one piece of it that I missed earlier. We do, because my brother's a butcher, he comes round with a turkey, a chicken, and a duck. He proceeds to then stuff one inside the other and put them all together and debone them all and everything.
You make a turducken.
Yeah. But he does it fresh. We get it.
Fabled turducken, everyone.
He literally does it fresh the day before we eat it.
Fair enough. I've never met anyone that actually did the turducken thing, but it does sound good.
Oh, it's nice.
I like duck. I wish
I don't
more
eat it,
places
but
here
it's
had
nice.
duck. As
Nah, you don't want to go quackers.
you're gonna quack me up. Anyway,
Love you.
me too, silly.
I don't know, but besides just any stereotypical feast, I guess it would be like a Thanksgiving feast, but on Christmas. I don't know.
Like ours was traditionally that way. It was usually, like I said, a ham or a turkey or both. And then, again, kind of like on Thanksgiving, we'd have like mashed potatoes and like either a seven-layer salad or something big, usually baked beans. But hers always had the bacon in them.
Baked beans
Now
and
that
mashed
said,
potatoes.
even
potatoes.
before, huh?
I just remembered that we do have like a dessert that we prepare for it, and it would be a Snicker salad.
Ooh, Snickers salad.
Yeah. Chopped up Snickers, couple apple slices, and like a big thing of Cool Whip.
Ooh. Doesn't
And I
sound
think
bad.
marshmallows in it.
As well.
I'd definitely give that a try. That sounds
Like
good.
it's literally you just put in big old bowl of Cool Whip, and then some marshmallows. Stir that
That
up. Take
sounds...
an apple slices and like little apple slices, like thin ones. Toss that in. Stir that up, and then take some Snickers
Cool Whip.
bars. Chop those up. Put those in and stir
can't-
that, and then that's it. You're done.
That
can't be
sounds
trusted with
fattening
Cool
as
Whip.
fuck.
Can't be trusted with Cool Whip or whipped cream at all. So, after you've opened all your gifts and you've had your Christmas dinner or whatever you all do, are there any other traditions you have? Anything else you like doing during that time of the year?
Besides opening
I'm gonna be
presents,
coughing now.
not much.
No, I open the presents on the morning, then we have Christmas dinner.
No,
What-
excuse me, Albert.
What person leaves all the Christmas presents under the tree till like late afternoon? Nobody. They're all down at 6 o'clock in the morning
Some
before the
people.
parents get up.
Yeah, I think with my sleep schedule and how it's been, I believe I'm gonna be the first one to wake on Christmas.
Admit it.
I'm
Admit it. You crept down at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning before your parents were up just to peek at your presents before they even knew you were awake. When you were younger.
Shut up.
Ooh,
No. Admit it.
hey,
That didn't.
To be
That
fair,
did not
what-
happen.
whenever we'd go over to my grandmother's house on my mom's side, we'd always have our dinner first, then we'd open presents after the family had eaten. And then we'd all watch like Christmas movies and stuff until people got done visiting and went home.
There's one tradition that this year can't happen.
What's that?
The Queen's speech.
Oh, you're right.
It'll be the King's speech this time.
Yeah. Hey, she lived a long life though. Like
Yeah.
legitimately. But that yeah.
My friend actually
Let
met
me
her.
ask you this. Do all of you do Christmas trees in your home?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not as much anymore.
That's-
We used to.
That's always the fun part.
Right.
We just have a plug-in one nowadays.
Yeah, same. When I was younger, we used to go cut one down out in at a tree farm and bring it home. But then as
Yeah.
family got older, we went to artificial trees just because it was easier on them.
I mean, we still do real
Less of a risk.
trees. We just, instead of going to a tree farm and picking one out, there'll be like a little Like, there's a big empty space over near us, and
Also,
sort of like a food truck kind of thing. There'd be someone that come by with a whole bunch of Christmas trees.
Mhm.
We just pick out from there.
and you do know that with real trees, when you bring them home, you're supposed to cut a little sliver off the bottom again so that the sap's not all solidified so that it can draw the moisture correctly again, right?
We do that.
A lot of people don't know that, and that's why the trees go dry and then are a fire risk. So always use common sense, be safe. And if you have a real tree, don't have it plugged in when you're not around it so you can watch it closely. And have a fire extinguisher nearby just in case.
Yeah, because there's that, and then there's the other fun part of having a real Christmas tree. If you're barefoot.
The pine needles.
Yeah. If you're barefoot, you'll find those suckers real quick.
You find Lego bricks.
And that's why tree skirts were a thing back in the day.
Oh, yeah. But
Tree skirts or tree blankets. They were for catching the needles so that you could just, when you were done, take it out or vacuum them up.
Yeah, we do. Because it's like a thick carpet, so it's...
So I apologize for coughing so much, but asthma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of tree topper do you guys use?
I mean, we just have a star that we put on top.
Star, okay. My grandmother always did angels. At my parents' house, sometimes we'd have an angel, sometimes we'd have a star. It just depends on what we were in the mood for. Sometimes just a ribbon.
Oh. If you want to answer, I got another question afterward.
We use angels, so that means that you must be sat on the top of our tree.
I'm no angel.
You are to me. Meow, come here. Come here. Mwah.
Ma, silly bean.
No, you're the silly bean.
I have some beans.
Related to what was just said, out of all of the ornaments that you have, or that you have gotten that was personally for you, which is your favorite?
That's easy.
Man, one of my favorites.
You want to go first?
What?
I don't mind either way, but I guess so. One of my favorites was when I was younger, had a little tiny USS Enterprise NCC 1701 that from the original series that would hang off there, and then I also had an Enterprise D, and they both had a little button you could push and they'd make sound effects. Those were some of my favorites when I was younger, but now I'd have to say it's my fox ornaments, all my fox ones, all different kinds of foxes.
Yeah, we have.
I used to like making ornaments with Grandma though.
We have yet to get any fox or wolf related ones for me, but my favorite one that I've done that was personally for me is a little tiny rainbow dash Christmas ornament with but it's with my furry name on it. So it's Rainbow Dash, but it says DJ for 3 on it. So that would be my most favorite out of all of them.
Mine's easy. I got mine from the Disney store. It's Robin Hood and Maid Marian under an archway.
That's actually really cute. Now, some of the most memorable ornaments that I cherish for a different reason was because they were made by Grandma. She used to do a lot of crafting. She was a very crafty type person. She would always make some sort of thing, whether it was posters for her Relay for Life stuff, costumes for the kids, or her own clothing, little knickknacks. she was always painting the house every few years because she would just get tired of it and just want something to do. And because she was kind of a stay-at-home grandmother after her first round of cancer, and and Grandpa just always did everything at that point. So she would basically go get groceries and cook and clean and have her friends over and paint, stuff like that. But she would make Christmas ornaments sometimes, and she'd make like these little felt drums. And she'd make like all sorts of things. I remember the drums real well, and she'd use like matchsticks as the drumsticks, and then she'd make like little stockings she could hang from the tree. She'd make all sorts of stuff, and I learned how to do origami really young. So I'd make like cranes in Christmas colors and hang them from the tree, or all kinds of different origami animals, foxes, frogs. I'd also hang snowflakes that I'd make every year. She's the one that taught me to make the paper snowflakes when I was real little, and just things like that are memorable to me because they were made and hand done. And so it's more the memory I cherish than the ornaments itself, but
Yeah.
sorry, I keep coughing. Ugh.
You're good.
Yeah, I kept on coughing. I had to. If you've seen me lean over the bench, it's because I was grabbing a soda from my fridge. I was coughing really
Yeah,
bad.
just some water's not a
Needed
bad
something
idea.
to drink.
I cough every time I laugh, though.
Well, yeah, because you managed to either say or hear something that absolutely just destroys your throat from laughter and stuff.
Thank you, fluffy and innocent.
I said from laughter.
Anyway, you said you had another question, though. Or at least I thought you did. Or am I confused?
That was for the ornaments.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What kind of lights do you use on your tree? Do you go for just the plain white ones? Do you use like the multicolored? Do you use steady lights? Do you have the flickering ones? Whatever.
I mean, the majority of the tree is the multicolored patch, but there are some that we put through it that it has the little bots that you can just like turn the dial and it'll change how the lights flicker and flash.
Okay. My grandmother always left hers on pretty much steady, but at my house we always had the twinkling lights. And most of them were the multicolored ones because as a kid I always liked the real bright, flashy colors. But now that I'm older, I kind of like the simplicity of just the steady white. I don't know. It shows off the ornaments more, I guess. I don't know. I'm weird.
No, you're not.
There's the lights on the tree, but I also have a little group of lights that go around my room.
Nice.
So I just plug those into the outlet just down over here, and it goes up, and it goes halfway around my room on one
About
side.
you?
We just have a fiber optic Christmas tree.
Oh, with the little fiber optic needles and all that. Those
Yeah.
are nice too. Actually, those are kind of pretty.
Mm.
Oh, that's right. We do have one artificial tree downstairs, and then we have another one that was like sort of like a sign made out of wood. And every year it's like we have the big main Christmas tree, and then we have a couple little small ones. Like, all right, who wants this one this year to put in their room?
Nice.
Meow.
There were some years that we didn't do it at all because it was too much hassle, but for the most part, there's other trees that we'll put up around the house that won't be such a hassle.
I have a question. What was your most unique Christmas?
Most unique Christmas.
Like the thing
That's a tough
you've done
one.
1 year but haven't done ever again.
I'm gonna have to think on that one.
I can tell mine while you two think if you want.
Go for it. Take me a minute.
A couple of friends invited me to Disneyland for Christmas, or rather Disneyland Paris, and we spent for as much as because we already had like the year pass, so we spent the £400 on the year pass, so we'd used it twice already. So we basically got into Disneyland for Christmas for free.
Okay.
And it was weird going around into the buffet thing for a Christmas dinner, and I just picked up the food I wanted rather than the traditional crap. But it was nice. Riding on Thunder Mountain on Christmas Day was rather amusing.
Does sound fun.
And then
I'm honestly not sure.
The Christmas fireworks at Disney were awesome.
For mine, I would have to change it instead of like just the unique Christmas aspect to the unique kind of present on Christmas. Because, like, majority of people, given, I guess, what's going on, you're bound to get a phone for Christmas at some point. My first phone was, I believe, the iPod Touch, or
that's not a phone.
Essentially like that, or well, the first iPhone phone after the iPod Touch.
So the iPhone.
I guess iPhone 1 or whatever. I don't know.
It was either the iPhone. Yeah. Depends when the iPod Touch came out.
But so essentially, I got this big giant box. I thought it was gonna be like an RC car or something. I open the box. There's wrapping in there, and I'm pulling stuff out. I find another smaller box. I was like, oh, I guess that's a neat little jag. I open that, there's more stuff in it, and I find a smaller box. Like, wait a minute. Am I just trying to get, like, a small little BB for Christmas or something? I open it up, and I start rummaging, and I find an even smaller box. It's like, what the hell is going on? Open that up, and it's even a smaller box.
How many layers of this did you go through?
5 at this point. And then I open it. Oh! No, for your question, I actually do have one, but, and then it got to the final size. I open it, and then it says iPhone. So, but the most unique Christmas. We were devious. So, I'm the oldest of my brothers. And then, so me and my youngest brother, we did one gift for each other. And we wrapped it the most evil way possible.
Oh no.
We've done that before.
Duct tape instead of wrapping paper?
No, so we put one little layer of wrapping paper so we didn't ruin the gift. But put duct tape wrapped around one way of the box. Then the other, this is what I did for my brother. Wrapped it around the other way of the box. I put zip ties over it. All over the box. I interlaced the zip ties. So it created like a crosshatch pattern. And so I did zip ties all over his. And they were the big, heavy-duty ones. They were the zip ties that were like this big.
Oh, that's evil.
And then another layer of duct tape.
What was in this?
Someone had to get the wire cutters out. First thing you're gonna stop on that button.
What'd you say?
What was actually the present?
I keep bumping my button.
I believe for him, oh, I can't exactly remember what I got him.
Okay, what did he do to your present that was just as evil?
Oh, duct tape, zip ties. We sort of thought alike, but my gift from him was a few more layers and smaller. But the one he did for me, he put it in a giant box. And then the little makeshift thing that I had to basically tear in half was about this big.
Nice.
And he put it in a box about this big.
My brother did worse.
What did he do?
He put his ex-wife's wedding ring inside 10 boxes, all duct taped.
Oh no. That's evil. Funny though.
Yeah, we were really evil that
let me
Christmas.
Well, I guess my most unique, not specifically Christmas, but was going on the semi with my fiance leading up from during Thanksgiving up to about Christmas. I had to come home because I needed to refill my medications and I couldn't get them out of state, so I had to come home for that. And then I had to pick up my new glasses that came in, so I didn't get to stay out all the way through Christmas. But then I drove back down to Christmas to visit with friends, and he was able to make it through Houston for a little bit, and was able to visit with us too. So that was probably the most unique, because it was the first time I'd ever been on a truck for that long of a period of time, and I enjoyed it. I'd like to do it again. Maybe not specifically for Christmas, but just in general. I'd like to do that again. That's probably the most unique thing I've done for Christmas. My unique Christmas itself, though, was the same year I got that Game Boy. And I had to know what I was getting. It was eating me up. I couldn't stand it. And I snuck before school one day. I snuck under the tree, and I learned how to undo tape without damaging the type of paper Mom used. And I opened up just the corner of it and tape and then put it back down.
You devious little sucker. You really are a sly little fox.
Now what you're going to do is she sees this video.
She'll probably laugh knowing her.
Such a devious little fox.
And I was still equally as excited because I wanted to play with it so bad, so it didn't really run the excitement for me, but it was just like, I had to know what it was. I couldn't stand it anymore.
I'm innocent. I've actually never done that.
I think that's the only time I ever did, though. Was that year.
I think the worst thing I did that was related to that was just count to see how many presents I got. Like, that would be like at most.
I think every kid's done that at least once.
Yes. It has happened.
It was fun, though. I won't lie. Well.
Devious.
Aside from the normal stuff, is there anything that either of you are specifically looking to for this year? Or looking forward to for this year?
Honestly, it's just a repeat every year since I became a furry. It was just anything related to my persona, or fox, or furry related, or wolf related, whatever.
Fair enough.
Like, I got an actual, like, I think Native American, like, wolf hoodie. So I have one of those. Like, it was actually, like, hand woven and everything. I got a Fox backpack. So like, it's just,
Ooh.
it's really much just furry related stuff. Is pretty much the norm. That or money.
I like furry related stuff too, and yeah, that's pretty much what I get anymore too. My parents is like, "Here, go get you what you want." I'm like, "Okay."
That's how it is
so
for
I
my
don't have
birthday,
as many
too.
presents anymore, and that doesn't bother me. I mean, it's easier now that we're older, and the more important thing to me now is just visiting with everyone and just enjoying it. I think what I'm looking forward to in this specific year for me is just my fiance's taking home time and just getting to spend it with him.
Oh, I
Would be
just
nice if I could be there,
remember.
but I
You could
can't.
come visit.
I know, I was just thinking
Oh,
that.
it'd be nice.
I just remembered. I said that I had 4 presents that were my favorite, or 4 Christmas gifts that were my favorite, and I changed it to 3. I just remembered one. And it was before I was a brony, it was before I was a furry, and it was a ATV.
Ooh, yes.
You mean a proper full-size one?
Well, for me being a child, yes.
So not an RC variant is what I was getting at.
Yes.
Fair enough.
But
I never
got
got
an
the
ATV,
go-kart.
and it had a little toolbox underneath it that came with it. So you'd put your tools in a little thing and you'd strap it up.
I didn't get my go-kart until I was an adult, but that's okay. I did have a pedal cart when I was little, though. My uncle got me when I was still a toddler, and I pedaled that thing around everywhere. Little pedal go-kart. But I did get a lot of bicycles and stuff. Either for
I did
Christmas
have
or
a.
birthdays.
I did also have a 2-seater go kart before it got stolen. And when I was driving that around, I was still somewhat short. So in order to reach the pedals, I had to put 2 of the square throw pillows behind my back to reach the pedals.
Yeah.
I wanted so badly to try and give my mom a ride. But it's a good thing she didn't go with me that day because, oh man, it was just after it rained. But,
You got money, didn't you?
Oh, definitely.
But you had fun.
I flipped a go-kart a couple of times.
Oh, I had fun. I was caked in it.
Giggity.
Gosh.
Someone was a dirty fluff butt. Boop. Boop. Wanna pull it? Okay.
You're supposed to hit the other person for you.
I used the Uno reverse card.
Oh,
Makes
crap.
sense.
Oh, God. Anyway. Well, I know not everyone celebrates Christmas. So for those viewers that we have that don't, let us know what you do celebrate if you celebrate anything. Do you celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa? Do you have other rituals? My friends and family down in Texas celebrate Yule in the more traditional sense. And I've done that sort of thing with them the last couple of years. Highly recommended it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a great variation and difference on Christmas, and I loved it. So let us know in the comments section below if you made it this far. What do you celebrate, or what are some of your traditions?
Better have them pick on their most favorite cookie.
That works too. Yeah, any of those.
If
That's all.
Any
really nice things.
questions that we've asked, if you want to give an answer to one of those, go ahead. We'd love to.
We don't mind.
I mean, I guess it's not exactly that we would love to know. It's more like we're curious.
And for a lot of my foreign friends, what's Christmas like for you all during this time of year? I know, like in Australia, it's summer, or at least coming up on summer. What are your traditions? Because I'd like to know, because I know it's got to be different than here. So I'm always interested to find out. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess on that note, it's time to end, right?
Yup.
Yep.
So,
Ooh.
as we said, we'd like to know. Well, we're curious about what y'all do. And like, I guess before you say like what you do, I guess what part of the world you're from. I guess we can get the context for what you do and why. So like,
And I guess another quick question. For those of you that are in the Northern Hemisphere like us, do you like a white Christmas or do you prefer not to have the white fluffy stuff around that makes driving a nightmare? I don't know. I think it's beautiful and I don't mind driving in it. It's just got to be careful. But what do you all think?
yeah.
Omni's like, no,
I mean-
no snow.
No,
snow.
no, I'm not saying no for that. I'll tell you after we stop recording.
Oh, oh, it's one of
Okay.
those moments.
Okay.
Did
Alright.
the dog do something frightful?
I don't know.
Because he had no other place to go. Yellow snow, yellow snow, yellow snow.
I wasn't gonna go there, but okay.
Alright. It might be Patreon, but they'll give you a
I don't want no
reference
wooden snow cones.
they'll give you a reference to some of the stuff that'll be on Patreon. And we actually take the time to actually going. Anyways,
We really need to get on that. I've been lazy.
same here. But so down in the description we'll have a link to our Discord. There will be a little thing in there, a little section where you can suggest ideas for topics, and the only rule is nothing controversial, political, like anything that wouldn't be like a fun topic. That we probably won't do it. So that's the only rule. Because we just do
And-
this for fun.
Be polite to one
Nothing
another.
serious. Yeah. And be nice. It's near Christmas time. You don't want to go on the naughty list.
Naughty.
Hush. Shush. Yeah.
I mean, some fairies would prefer the
But-
naughty list.
No. Bad kitty.
Oh,
But so down below we'll have the Discord. When we get it all up and running, we'll have the Patreon down below as well. And then
silly kitty.
we'll
Hope
have
your whisker got
either
bit.
one of our Twitters, or we'll have our TikToks down there. So
Yeah. I also did a thing this year. I actually made Christmas merch for once. Don't know why. I just felt like it.
We'll can put
make
links
sure you
to that
send
at
it
the
to
bottom.
Omni, so you can- Yeah.
Can if you want to. I don't mind.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's Christmas related, so it'll work. It relates. But so yeah, I'm stumbling over my words a lot. I haven't had this much issue saying an outro in forever. That's exactly how my brain is going whilst I'm trying to speak. But as I always say, don't worry, be furry. We love you all. Stay safe and enjoy the holidays.
Stay fluffy, y'all. Seasonal seasonings, everyone, and a Merry Yulmas to all. Enjoy your holidays.
Bye-bye.
Whatever they may be.
Meow.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Meow.
Cute.